This is Eye on the Community, and I am your host, Sean Anthony. And joining us next is the Director for Residential Services for the Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission, Mr. Robert Williams. Mr. Williams, welcome back to Eye on the Community. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for having me back. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Now, since the last interview, I have a better understanding of what weatherization is. But for some of our listeners that have no idea what this is, explain what is weatherization?
Sure. Weatherization is the process in which we take a home through and evaluate it to see what we can do on the property to make sure that the person in the home can reduce their energy costs on their home, specifically their gas bill. So some of the things that happen with weatherization are your furnace may be repaired or replaced. Your hot water tank may be repaired or replaced. We go through the house and do about a 2-hour evaluation of the property. So we check the insulation in the walls and the attic, dryer vent, gaps in the door. We also do a blower door test where we put an apparatus up around the door to see how much energy the home is losing and to see what can potentially be done to keep that energy in the home as opposed to going outside. So those are some of the things that weatherization does on the home.
Now, Robert, the weather is breaking. It's starting to get a little bit more warmer, and I'm sure we're all appreciating that.
Yes.
But what would be the point of getting the home weatherization now that it's getting warmer?
Sure. Well, that same hot air that you want to keep in the wintertime is that same cool air you want to keep in the summer. So if your home isn't properly insulated, then all of that cool air is escaping out of your home. Also with your furnace, if your furnace isn't working efficiently, that could affect your home as well. If you have central air, the same thing, that air could be going in the house, but if your property isn't properly insulated and things of that nature, you could be losing all of your cold air and continuing to drive your energy bills up because all that energy is going right out of the house instead of staying inside of it.
Now, I'm a homeowner, but there could be someone that's listening and say, "Hey, look, I don't own a home. I'm renting. Can I still take advantage of these opportunities here?"
Yes, absolutely you can. The process would still be the same. There will just be one small difference where your landlord would have to sign off on the work being done. So just like these services are free for homeowners, then it would be free for the landlord too, because ultimately our goal is to drive down the energy costs of the person living in the home. So as long as your landlord is willing to sign off on some free improvements on the property, we can go in and do the weatherization on the home.
Now, people may be asking, "This sounds expensive. Is this a
Yeah.
big cost, or is this some sort of loan or anything like that?"
Yes, our services are 100% free. So there are no costs to the homeowner or renter as long as they meet the qualifications of the application. The services are absolutely free. There's no payback at any particular point in time or anything like that. So the service is totally free.
What's the timeline of this program? How long does it typically take?
Yes. So a lot of it is dependent upon the person is calling for the services as well, right? So we do have an application process. We do require that we obtain certain documents such as pay stubs and things like that to verify income. So the sooner the individual can start the process and get those materials in, the quicker we can start the work. Generally, if you're looking at an applicant who gets everything in within a day or two, we can generally have them scheduled within a week, and then the work would start after that. So initially there'd be an inspection, and then depending upon how much work needs to be done, that could increase the length of time from start to finish. Now, obviously, now is a great time to call as we're slower, but as we get into early October and people go and turn on that furnace for the first time and it might not work, then we start getting a backlog naturally. So you're looking at maybe three or 4 weeks before we can get out. So now's a great time to call since the weather's warming up. We don't have a backlog, and if you get all your stuff in, we can generally get you wrapped up within 2 to 4 weeks.
Now, before we conclude, from my understanding, our last conversation, there's an opportunity where people can get an air conditioner unit, right?
Yes, we have several weatherization programs, Sean, and one of them is specific to a particular zip code that you may or may not live in. So if you live in that specific zip code, If you are a senior or have health problems, there may be an option for you to get an air conditioner. Now, we cannot do it on all of our jobs based on those requirements, but this is something new that we can do in specific areas based on specific situations. So it's not something we can do for everyone, but it is something that is an option now, which is something that we have not had in the past as part of our program.
Excellent. So lastly, how can people sign up for this program? And you mentioned for people to call in as well. What's the number, and tell us what we need.
Sure. So if you'd like to call in, our number is 614-621-1171. So that's our phone line. You can even apply online. To apply online, if you'd rather do that, it's www.morpse.org. You'll scroll down to home weatherization. You'll click on that, and then there'll be a button where you can go right on and apply for the program. So those are the two easiest ways to do the program. You can also leave an email on that same page if you have additional questions.
Morpse.com, MORPC.com. Mr. Williams, this is
.org. Sorry,
oh,
Sean.
I'm sorry.
.org.
I said that. My mistake.
No
.org. You
Yes,
got to repeat it for folks.
Yep. Nonprofit agency .org.
Yes, there we go. Mr. Robert Williams, the Director for Residential Services for Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission. Definitely appreciate you taking the time out to share this valuable information to our Central Ohioans. You take care, Mr. Williams.
Thank you once again. Thanks for having me, Sean. You have a good day.
You too. My pleasure. Bye now.